Well, 2 more days on the road after Colorado, and we arrived at our hotel, the Snake River Lodge and Spa, which was just outstanding. Our lodge is located just outside of maybe 10 miles or 20 miles outside of Jackson, Wyoming, or Jackson Hole, Wyoming, depending on if you're a local or not. But I'm not going to get into that here. Anyway, we're going to spend 2 days exploring the Grand Teton National Park and then 2 days exploring Yellowstone. As I had said before on our other episodes here, the original plan was to try to stay around 350 or 400 miles a day when we're traveling, and it just keeps you from getting beaten up. I mean, the car rides fairly good for a little sports car, and I have Miata seats in it, and they're pretty comfortable, but still, it's a long haul. So what we did is, since the total mileage was 594 miles, I broke it up into two separate trips. So the first day we decided to go from Manitou Springs to a little town called Rock Springs, Wyoming. I thought about evening up the trip a little more and stopping in Laramie for our first stop. That would have been 204 miles, around just under 400 miles to go. But I think there was some other reason why we picked Rock Springs. I think we were having trouble getting a hotel in Laramie. So we had a lot better luck in Rock Springs. So anyway, that's how we went, and everything worked out just fine. Well, we left our hotel in Manitou Springs around 9:30 or so, I guess maybe 9, and headed back through Colorado Springs to pick up I-25 north towards Denver. Well, the night before we left our hotel, we got to talking about maybe going to see the Air Force Academy, since it's right there in Colorado Springs, and we have a niece that graduated from there a few years ago, so we just kind of thought we'd go check it out, and it was pretty neat. Well, then we hit the infamous Denver rush hour traffic, although it was only about 2 o'clock or something, but it was just dead stopped. I could not believe it. So, and it was pointed out to me several times that it was hot. And did she say it was hot? And then we headed on north and got into Wyoming. And lo and behold, the speed limit in Wyoming is 80 miles an hour. I mean, who knew? So anyway, we got to crank up the speed a little bit. I don't know, I did it for a while, but then I just kind of backed off to like 75 or so. Just there's no sense, burning a bunch of oil and everything. It seems like the car runs very efficiently around 70 or 75, and if I go faster, it tends to somehow use oil. I don't know where it goes. It doesn't smoke or anything, so I don't know if it's just blow by or what, but I do have a open crankcase ventilation, so maybe that's what's happening there. But anyway, it was a great trip so far. It turned out, like I said before, that Clarion had an excellent Mexican restaurant right inside, and which actually served made-to-order omelets in the morning. So we each had a margarita and a great meal. Okay, so we woke up to day 16 of our trip. 188 miles, and claim they can do it in 3 hours and 15 minutes or something like that. So, well, it turned out to be a good idea to front load most of the mileage into that first day. Not that we had a whole lot of opportunities to make much of a change, because the roads basically follow the ravines up through the mountains and everything. So there's not a whole lot of optional paths to go to get from one place to another in Wyoming. But the other thing too was that since the mileage was so short, we weren't so tired as we got into the Rockies, so you could enjoy the scenery a lot more. So anyway, overall it was a great trip. The car ran fine. We were reminded how much of a pain in the butt it is to load and unload the car every day, which we had many more days of that ahead of us. But it was a fun trip. made a little stop. It's about halfway to our hotel. We're in Pinedale, Wyoming, and you can see there's a little used car lot of totally full of pickup trucks, and you don't see many cars out here, obviously, because it's pretty much all ranches and stuff like that. So anyway, it's a nice little town. Well, here we are, I guess about an hour later. This is typical of a Wyoming highway, and there was a lot of construction, or a lot of repaving, I should say. So there was spots where I could go, close to 80, and then there were spots like this where you couldn't. It looked like it was going to be pretty nice. I mean, there's miles of where it's paved on one side and ready to be paved on the other side. But this was the 16th. I can't remember if that was a weekend or not. But we were starting to see glimpses of the Rockies in the distance there. And it was just a nice, pleasant ride. The weather was decent. It wasn't real cold. It wasn't real hot. But yeah, it was great. Later on, we started to get in some much more scenic areas, as you can see here. It's just beautiful out here. You can see the Rockies out in the distance there. So, yeah, it was starting to get really pretty here. So, I'm going to just let this go for a minute without me yapping. It's just beautiful. We got to our hotel about 3:30, which was perfect because check-in was at 3. So we pull up, and this happened so many times. It was really kind of cool, a great way to meet people, I guess. But anyway, we pull up, and we're getting out of the car, and first of all, a bellhop guy comes out and offers to help unload the car, and that was, never ceased to be a source of amazement for those guys when they see all the stuff that we had crammed in this little car. But anyway, so we're unpacking the car, and this couple comes out. They're standing on the porch of the hotel there. He's watching me, and he comes over and starts asking me about the car and where we're from, and was just amazed that we've driven it this far, and even more amazed that nothing's broken yet. But that was just an ongoing kind of a running joke with everybody. But anyway, turns out he was actually there for a business deal. It was some kind of convention or something. He was from somewhere south. I can't remember if it was Alabama or where, but his name was Nick, and real nice guy. Turns out he has several British cars. So we talked for quite a while, and I ran into him a couple of times in the hotel while we were there. But anyway, so about the hotel, so Colleen comes back out, and she was going to get our room set up and everything, and she comes back out and says, well, guess what? Our room isn't ready, and it won't be ready for another 45 minutes at least. It turns out, she said, that they were swamped. A lot of people were checking in, a lot of people were checking out. They're just going as fast as they can, and Colleen, of course, is basically telling them, well, that's not my problem. What are you going to do for us? So they upgrade our room. It wasn't a suite, but it had a fireplace in it, as you can see here. And it also had, which I thought was really cool, was a steam shower. I've never had one of those before. So, but believe me, I got used to it, and I miss it sorely right now. But anyway, that was our trip from Manitou Springs to our hotel in the Tetons here at the Snake River Lodge and Spa. So next episode, we'll be driving through the Grand Teton National Park, and I'm going to try to combine that with Yellowstone too. So anyway, again, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode. That's it for now. Please like and subscribe.